What's up, guys? It's Sludgebeard here, and today we are going to be taking a look at the Electrum Archive by Emiel Boven. This is an extremely cool tabletop RPG, a rules light system that was created just very recently, I think in the past year or so, and takes tons of influences from games like the Elder Scrolls Morrowind, book series like The Dark Sun, or The Shadow of the Torturer by Gene Wolfe. This is one of the coolest experiences that I've had recently with diving into a new, fresh tabletop system. I think what Emiel Boven was able to do with this system was create something that's very easy, very user-friendly with that rules light system, and on top of that, make it fun and interesting, and really shows off the inspirations that they were interested in and the areas where they really excelled in science fiction fantasy writing, and they maneuvered that into a really cool, unique rule set that I think you guys are really, really going to enjoy. I wanted to kind of break this up into different parts. I kind of wanted to speak briefly about the world, about the universe that has been created with the Electrum Archive, and just so you guys can get kind of a taste of what's going on here. There's tons of stuff. This is a high fantasy mixed with sci-fi sort of a tabletop system, and what's really cool is you can really see the elements of sci-fi blending in. You've got things in here which we'll go over, like these elder gods, which basically were like spacefaring races of different beings that came to this planet, and then you have these very serious high fantasy kind of drop backs with like the towering monoliths and the mushroom forest and everything like that. So it's really cool. I'm super excited to dive in with this to you guys and just kind of show you a brief overview of what the Electrum Archive has to offer, and hopefully you guys will get excited as I am. They are actually currently running a Kickstarter for the Electrum Archive, so definitely take a look at it. I'll put some links in the description below for all you guys, but let's go ahead and let's take a look at the PDF of this game and the world of Orn. So one thing that I think is really cool is you can go ahead and get a free resource with the rules, if you so speak. Now, the thing that's great is that all this stuff is digital. The rulebook's digital. They are actually doing the releases in kind of like a magazine, quote-unquote, format, where they release kind of this core rulebook as the first magazine, and then the next one, which is going to be Kickstarted, is actually coming up here. It's fully Kickstarted, so it's going to happen for sure. The funding's already gone through, but they're continuing to get new people, basically, providing money and exchange for these really cool different magazines and these different expansions. And so first, to start off here, let's go through the world of Orn and show you why this science fiction fantasy world is worth getting excited about. So one thing that I like that starts off here is it kind of breaks out in the rule book and shows you kind of like 7 areas where you can kind of get a glimpse of what's going on in the world. The way that it starts off is it does say at the first part, long ago, the people of Orn were brought here by a star-faring civilization of godlike creatures whose names are now long forgotten. They are known simply as the Elders, and most of the knowledge of the Elders was lost when their ships fell from the heavens and buried themselves in the surface of Orn in an age-long past. So like I said, already starting off with a very sci-fi heavy element here. A lot of these high fantasy worlds, tend to stray away from this, and I really like that off the bat just already embracing this really cool sci-fi realm with these elder gods, essentially, that kind of, came to this world of Orn and, kind of brought the technology there that you're going to see throughout the rest of this. And then now the second part says, gold and silver are abundant in the soil of Orn and almost hold no value. So gold and silver, something you see in every fantasy world, right? I like this. It's subverting expectations right from the start, showing that there's something different about this that you maybe haven't seen before. You aren't going to be delving into dungeons necessarily looking for gold pieces and trying to scrape together what you can. No, this is saying, okay, there's something else here that's going to provide value. Now, what is that? Because of this, the main currency is drops of Elder ink. This is so cool. A magical substance that was left behind by the Elders. So literally the blood of dead gods is what you're going to be trading as currency in this world. Love it. Absolutely super cool. Number 3, inhaling vaporized Elder ink temporarily expands the mind, allowing it to enter the realm beyond, a parallel dimension inhabited by spirits, and tap into magical energy. So right here, you're getting kind of like a, I would say like psychedelic kind of approach to the ink, but then also, saying that it's, a magical world, right? There's these spirits, there's these ethereal beings that are outside of the typical world, and that there's a magical energy that's possessed through this. It also says the ink can be used to power a variety of ancient constructs like golems and airships. So again, delving into multiple different realms, and this is my favorite thing. I love when writers and the narrative element is brought in here, and it's given to so many different genres. Like you're seeing some steampunk here and some basically high fantasy mixed in with the idea of this magical energy. And so it's really, really cool to see this type of genre blending as we kind of go through here. Now, number 4 says, what trade is left between the regions of Orin is facilitated by a handful of ancient merchant houses that fight a cutthroat war amongst themselves, desperately trying to return them to their former glory. So we got some if you guys have played Morrowind, which if you haven't played Morrowind, go right now. I think it's still on Amazon Prime for like a game. Okay, it's one of the best games of all time. It's my favorite personal game. I'm playing since I was 14. Literally spent probably more time in Morrowind than in the real world at some point. Maybe not that extent. That's a little overdoing it. But seriously, a long time. Like it's a close second. But yeah, in Morrowind, there's these like great houses that basically are at war with one another. This is doing the same thing, right? There's these ancient merchant houses that are fighting against each other, and they're trying to figure out who's the dominant force. So this is a really cool like faction system that's already being presented here. Number 5 says bone spores, a fungal parasite that caused the collapse of most of the houses. Trade networks were still ravaging some parts of the spore wilds, but it's kept in check due to the work of a group known as the Order of Ilsar. Now this is really cool. Kind of now adding another element to this, where we're adding like kind of like Last of Us sort of zombies, sort of like mushroom kind of demons essentially that are going to take over people and turn them into brainless flesh slaves essentially. So really cool thing to see here. Number 6, an expansive network of tunnels and caves known as the Sunless Princetoms hides beneath the surface of Orin. Here, the insect-like ear are locked in a cold war over control of their ancestral city. This I haven't seen expand on too much. I have to read more of the world and kind of the world building, but I just like that there's this idea that there's kind of different layers to this world. You're not just seeing like what's going on the surface. There's stuff going on underneath. You have obviously these higher up beings like the elders that exist at some point. What else is beyond there? Is there something beyond the world that you don't know about? Is there something underneath that's more secretive? So it's probably a race that existed long ago and maybe is locked in kind of a battle. And then number 7 here, the final piece, a person known as the Twinned-Souled Emperor claims they are a spirit from the realm beyond, born into human flesh, and rules from the ancient city of Knoll. So who's the Twin Sun Emperor? Who's it going to find out? Now, actually, there is some pictures. As you can see, the art in this is absolutely beautiful. Incredible art. The way that everything is laid out in terms of the rules. I'm telling you guys, check this out. Just look at the rules. It's very, very easy to do. The character creation, super simple. There's only 5 things, and it takes you maybe about 5 to 10 minutes to make a character, unless you really want to continue to go deeper, which you can, but super easy to do. Character creation, super fun. I want to go ahead and I want to do some character creation with you guys in another video and go through the actual core systems here. But in this introduction, I want to kind of introduce you to the world. So yeah, there's tons of really cool different archetypes and everything that you can choose, different backgrounds. So yeah, there's some really neat stuff here. As you can see, the book, the art is just absolutely amazing. And then essentially there is in this small book, this initial piece, you get a little bit, you get a taste, okay? But if you want to get the full experience, also the spell names, the spells are really cool. You generate like a name, and it has different templates for the name, and then you can kind of go through and actually like form these together. So you get like a D4, and you roll 3, you get adjective and form, and then you roll the 2 D8s, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, well, let's see here. I rolled a let's do something fun here. You did a 6.7. So now all of a sudden your adjective is a revealing and the noun is sand. So Revealing Sand would be the name of your spell. Now, there is a way to craft the spells and use different names with different, or different adjectives with nouns, etc., and kind of form your own. But at the start, this is what you do. You basically like roll, and then you get a cool spell out of it. And then what's actually cool about this, and I don't think it's listed in here. Oh yeah, it is. The spell potency is determined by what they call the Seer, which is the DM, basically the Dungeon Master, for this system. And so the Seer will go through and say, for this one, for example, like Revealing Sand, definitely not a mythic, a world-altering spell or a major spell, I would say. It's not minor. It's definitely something that requires some magic, it seems, or maybe not. It could be achieved maybe without some magic, but most likely something like a moderate one. Like, if you're revealing the sands, like you're kind of separating out them with some sort of like, mystical force of some kind. So making it a moderate spell that does, a little bit of damage. So it's really cool. Spell creation's awesome. Lots of different effects, harms and healing. Death is super important in this game. You got to rest a lot. You got to worry about your wounds, worry about if you're going to be deprived and everything like that. It's really, really sick. It's got some really great different abilities for each of the classes. I highly recommend checking this out, guys. If you were a fan of Morrowind, if you're a fan of, high fantasy, science fiction fantasy, check this out. Again, Electrum Archive. And, go ahead and check out the Kickstarter if you guys haven't had a chance to look yet, and check out the zines. Again, Emiel Boven did an amazing job with this. It's crazy. I believe that they've only been doing, creation of these different tabletop games for a few years now. So someone coming on the scene and really creating something different and really cool is just really inspiring to see. So yeah, I want to go ahead and make that video for you guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Tell me if you guys want to see more Electrum Archive stuff. I'd love to do some campaigns for you guys, some one-shots with some groups, and actually go through and play through this world, really explore it some more. There's some really, really cool stuff in here. Next time we can kind of delve more into the mechanics of everything and maybe dive a little bit deeper. I'll see if it's possible if I can share some more of the core rules, but if not, I can always describe them to you guys as well as we kind of work through this. But I hope you guys enjoyed this short video. Hope you guys are interested in seeing more of this type of content with tabletop role-playing games, rules-like games potentially as well. And yeah, definitely check it out. And I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks so much. See ya.